I want to talk about how seeking external validation from others mirrors childhood woundings and keeps us away from achieving self mastery and abundance and keeps us away from our highest selves and our highest timelines. All right. And so this is for you if you care about being the best version of yourself and you really want to continue doing the inner work that you know you have to do to reach that next level of soul mastery. So, before I get into that, I invite you into my free masterclass offer that I provide below, and that is a free guide to heal the deeper why that's been holding you back and keeping you stuck in the same patterns, loops, relationship dynamics that feel stuck or heavy for you, which keeps you away from being the best version of yourself, right? If you're someone who cares about aligning to your highest self, like I said, and you're like, okay, I've done the manifestation work, but my manifestations aren't landing, or I've done some shadow work and inner healing work and journaling. Am I not breaking free from these patterns and cycles? Why can't I get better? Well, it's because you need to do the deeper subconscious emotional healing work, which is what this free offer provides you with, and also what my coaching programs provide you with. So if you're curious about any of that, you can check the description below, and we're gonna get into this video. So thank you for being here. Please like and subscribe if you support this message. And I wrote notes for you guys because you know I'm trying to be efficient when everybody these days has fucking ADD and can't focus for very long. But I am going to try to make this as concise as possible so that you can receive these transmissions and feel good about yourself so that you can heal, right? And be better. So we are gonna just talk about, why did I leave this spot? All right, so first, we have to see why we seek external validation in the first place. And this typically shows up in our romantic connections anyways, all right? We are looking for external validation because we're looking to fill a void where our emotional needs were not met in the past or in our childhood, period. When we are not properly regulated or taught emotional regulation, as children, we grow up in an emotional deficit and into these codependent patterns with our mothers and fathers, right? And so this in adulthood, well, it creates a lack of safety. It creates us feeling abused. It creates all types of shit that sucks, right? But ultimately, in our adulthood, it creates us looking for others to fill something that we never learned how to fill. Typically in our romantic relationships, and the universe always loves to show us where we are not in our full sovereignty in our relationships, where we are giving our power away, where we are needing others to tell us or be there for us, tell us that we're good enough, tell us that we're loved, show us that we're loved, show us that we're good enough. And that bleeds into attachment styles, which I don't need to go into necessarily for this video, but I do have a video on attachment styles on my channel, and I always recommend the video Attachment Styles by Teal Swan because I really feel like it's powerful. But whenever we are looking and seeking anything outside of us in the first place, we have to see why. Why? Because this is ultimately a lot of times playing into this victim mentality that we need that in order to blank, right? I need love in order to blank, to feel safe, to feel valued, to feel like I can be what, right? There's a lot of layers to this. But what are we looking to fill by seeking outside of ourselves? Now, of course, we are interdependent beings. I am not saying that that's a bad thing. We need it. That's just the way that it is. But we have to look at the deeper why, right? So, if we are seeking from something from a place of wholeness, balanced, groundedness, right? Love, support, right? This can help us feel supported and balanced, but if it's coming from lack, like I need you to be this in order to this, the universe always has its way of trying to get us to return to ourselves through other people mirroring back to us this level of seeking. Like we are seeking from them The universe will show us that we're seeking from them. Why? Because if you're someone who keeps finding yourselves in the same relationship dynamics and patterns and cycles with people, and you're like, okay, I've done my shadow work. Why does this relationship keep showing up? Why can't I make forward movement? Why can't I feel free to connect to my highest purpose? Why do I still deal with self-doubt? Right? It's because, again, we need to do the deeper emotional subconscious clearing work to get to the root of why that's happening, so that your reality can mirror something back to you that is different, that you want. Okay? So when we are outsourcing our power, we can feel that in the reaching and our energy being out of balance. And this moves us away from our power of choice and autonomy. Again, stemming from our childhood in the first place, these attachment cycles and patterns that we've experienced with other people, from our childhood, from our mom and our dad, bleeds into our business, bleeds into our relationships, bleeds into our sense of self, and keeps us in the cycle of seeking safety in others, for us to be seen, loved, heard, and valued, seeking approval that it is safe, that we are good enough, all that shit. And guess what? That's why a lot of relationship models don't work. I've been talking about this in my videos a lot. I know from experience, after working with 3,500 people, more than that at this point, to heal and do shadow healing work and subconscious healing work, that many different types of relationship dynamics don't work right now, because the place that people are seeking the connection is already from a deficit and moving away from the self. So we have to see where we're moving away from ourselves and learn to choose ourselves deeper, 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 and then decide what is aligned with us from a place of deep choosing of the self. Again, this creates self-doubt and codependency when we're seeking, and this blocks us from reaching self-mastery and our highest self, and makes us question our entire intuition. So what do? We have to figure out, what does your heart say? What does your heart want to experience? And work to provide your energy, support your energy into that life, that reality, making choices based on that level of soul truth. And then say, okay, from that place, what am I still playing out that's not serving me? What feels distracting or limiting to me? What is the deeper why? Take your power back so that you can choose from a space of empowerment and not lack, right? Because this is going to impact your relationship to abundance and to lovers and to family and to yourself. So I have some questions I want to ask you that you can take with you and sit with for a bit. Where are you placing your self-worth in the hands of others, and how does that show up in your life? Why do you feel like you need other people's approval in order to succeed or be loved? What is the root origin of this wounding? Now, I'll use an example to kind of close this video out. I talk a lot about the relationship with my father growing up and my family growing up in my content, because I have to go through this inner healing work in order to be sitting here and sharing and running my business like this. I didn't read this from a book. I had to heal myself and go through my own deep shadow healing process, and then from that place moved into a private practice and had all of this experience working with different people and continue to heal myself now. So I understand deeply what it's like to feel stuck or dependent on others in a way that doesn't feel good. I mean, all the things I talk about, I deeply know and understand. So I had this relationship with my father with a lot of repressed anger, felt like I wasn't seen or heard by him, and still my adult life now, I'm not understood by him. Doesn't mean that he doesn't love me and that I don't love him, but that's just the way that it is. And so that led me into relationships with lovers, with friends, with all men and with my business and my relationship to money, with my clients, like to seek approval, to seek validation. And so I had to see, okay, I'm replaying my relationship with my father and every person, place, and thing that I'm connected to. And what do I have to do to regain my autonomy and sovereignty and feel clear in my purpose? So that's been the journey of healing. I was able to retrace that my inner child felt like her needs weren't met and she wasn't seen and loved and accepted for who she was. So of course that's going to affect how I show up in my content, how I show up with my clients, how I show up with my lovers. And I have to be responsible for cleaning that up, for freeing myself, and for not giving other people the power to be over me, to be bigger, stronger, more capable than me. See what I mean? So hopefully that gives you a little bit of reflection, but these primary relationships we have with mom and dad are extremely intense, and we have to take ourselves back from the world. We have to take ourselves back from the world. All right, so that's my video, and if you're interested in my free training to help you find your deeper why, you can download it below, and all my other resources are also below. You can check the description. I'd love to connect with you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Okay, bye.